and not gonna be able to do much about that. YouTube, same way. It's pretty dark picture. I see that, and nothing at the moment I can do to make that better. But let me be brief. Tonight, we're gonna do part two of our series that I started the other day on 7 clocks ticking towards the end of all things. All right, 7 clocks ticking towards the end of this thing, the tribulation, coming of the Lord, all that. Okay. And we gave you the first 3 already. You should remember, we gave you the ticking 6,000 year clock. We are very near the 6,000 spot. By the way, this is April the 3rd, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Just right now. And 2025. All right. And the first 3 clocks I gave you the other night, we ran out of time. The ticking 6,000 year clock. We are getting near the end of the 6,000th year. And I don't have time to go into all the details of why you may be thinking, well, if this is 2025, aren't we 25 years over? Not at all. No, the Gregorian clock that we're using, the Gregorian calendar, started at the wrong place. We started at the birth of Christ. Well, that's not where the Old Testament ends. That's not where the New Testament begins. Begins after the renting of the veil at his death, right? Okay, so if you go by that, and if you can figure out what year he died, which is complicated, um, but either way you look at it, our years are numbered here. If 6,000 is the end of all things, and I believe it is, I believe the world was ordained to be here 7,000 years exactly, including the kingdom age, which is coming up. Okay. And so the 6,000 year clock is on the horizon. The Jubilee clock, we won't go into all that again. The final Jubilee is on the horizon, very close. Okay. We talked about the church as a ticking clock, and we talked about the Laodiceans and the church age that we're in now, and we're right near the end of it, and where God is wanting to vomit us out of his mouth, spew us from his mouth. And you turn the page, Revelation 4:1, behold, a door was opened in heaven. There's the rapture. So, clock number 4, the ticking nuclear clock. The ticking nuclear clock. My goodness, we have never been as close to world destruction as we are at this very moment. By the way, in our generation, for the first time in the history of the world, how the world could destroy itself was never possible, even in 1945 with the dropping of the atom bomb. I mean, that's all there was. They dropped the only atom bombs that were completed. But even in the 60s during the Cold War, today, in recent years, for the first time, and I believe in my lifetime and in my later lifetime, we have got to the place where we could destroy the world. If a nation or a couple of nations got into a severe nuclear war like Russia and America, we could seriously end life here on this planet as we know it. And we know that's not going to happen because we've read the last chapter of the Bible, right? And God is going to intervene. But the fact is, it's possible now. And that clock is ticking. It's 1 minute to midnight on that nuclear clock. Why has nobody blown anybody up yet? Why? Maybe the hand of God. I don't know. But that day's coming. And but we know that this is going to end before that day arrives, right? Sorry about again for you just getting on. Sorry about the dark. I'm in the truck. Don't have enough light, but that's okay. We don't need light. You don't have to see me clearly. So I'm just going to be a few more minutes here. So clock number 4, the ticking nuclear clock. And in the book, I talk about the Manhattan Project. I go through the process of the atom bomb, and I give the whole history of warfare. And boy, in our generation, we have gone light years beyond what the last 5,000 or 5,800 years of history had. Far different situation today. And greetings, Miss Ramona. All right, so let's go to the next clock. Clock number 5. Daniel's ticking clock is ticking. Now, what is Daniel's ticking clock? I'll tell you what Daniel's ticking clock is. It is the fact that the worlds are all going to come together under a one world system. The world is going to come together under a one world system. Gary says, I've never looked better. I agree, Brother Gary. I agree 100%. And um, Daniel's ticking clock is the fact that the world is going to come together under a one world system, one world political system, one world financial system, and a one world religious system. And that's the Daniel ticking clock. You read Daniel chapter 2, Daniel chapter 7, Revelation 13, 1 through 4. You'll find that the Bible speaks of 4 world kingdoms that Israel revolved around. That's Babylon, Persia, Greece, and then Rome. And we see the 5th kingdom mentioned. That's the revived Roman Empire, which actually is made up of all 4 of those kingdoms. And then, of course, the kingdom of God, the stone cut out without hands, that topples the statue, and Christ sets up his kingdom. There's really 6 kingdoms there. We are on the edge of this right now. We just did a show at the studio yesterday with Doc, and I discussed some of this with Doc. And I said, you know what, I don't believe Donald Trump's the Antichrist, but I believe that Donald Trump is setting this whole thing up. And that when the next man comes on the scene, or the Antichrist, whoever he is, it'll all be ready for him. There's a lot I could say on that about Donald Trump, but watch the show. It's coming in a couple of weeks here. In fact, it may be next Friday and Saturday. There is shockingly, the components of this final kingdom are already here. The United Nations, the European Union, the World Council of Churches all boldly exist right now and will continue combined under Satan's plan for the one world order. It's all here. Okay. So look at these ticking clocks we've got. And it's just amazing when you realize that these clocks, the 6,000 year clock, the Jubilee clock, the church clock, the nuclear clock, Daniel's one world system clock, and then number 6, the harvest ticking clock. The harvest ticking clock. Let me just read you something real quick, and I won't spend much time on this. If I can find my page. Here we go. The winds are blowing, the leaves are changing, and there's a chill in the air as autumn fast approaches. I'm not talking about autumn that you're thinking of. I'm talking about God's autumn. I'm talking about the time of harvest is on the horizon. There is a great harvest coming, and it will be huge. I am not referring to the changes and transitions that occur from summer to fall. I am speaking about the rapture of the church on God's prophetic calendar. The signs of the coming of the end times are all around us. A person would have to be blind to not see them. Just as we can see the leaves changing color and feel the cool winds begin to blow, we can sense the season of the end times. Paul did say that day should not overtake you as a thief. Just as the farmer knows when the harvest is ready, or at least he knows when it's soon to be ready, so too a student of prophecy can sense the timing of the rapture of the Lord. The harvest is a type of the rapture, which is a part of a threefold bodily resurrection that is fast approaching. And I said this, a farmer may not know the exact day or hour of his harvest, but he certainly knows the season. And the farmer will drive out to his field. He'll get out of the truck. He'll walk into the field and he'll feel and look at his crop. And he doesn't know the exact day that it's ready, but he knows I better get the trucks. I better get the tractors out of the barn. I better get the oil changed. I better get them serviced. I better get them fueled up because it's any day now. All right. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Well, there's one more harvest, or I'm sorry, there's one more ticking clock that I want to give you here. And that's this: Israel. Israel, the kingpin of all prophecies, the nation of Israel. Israel is a ticking clock. You remember Israel? The Bible talks about the budding of the fig tree. When the fig tree, when you see all these things, know that is at the door, and that this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Remember that? Israel is a clock. Israel is a timepiece. 1948, by the way, in just a week or so, or less than 2 weeks from right now, uh, May 15th is when Israel became a, uh, a a nation again. That's a pretty big event. We talked about that with the Harry S. Truman and the fig tree. Remember that just a couple weeks back on TV and on YouTube. Harry S. Truman and the fig tree. He had a part to play. God's hand was at work there. And um, Israel. Now, not only 1948, but 1967 is a pretty big deal. I've often said this. I believe the fig tree took root in 1948, but they did not have Jerusalem until 1967 in the Six-Day War. So June of 1967 is a very important date and a very big development in the history of Israel as the prophetic time clock. So now they have Jerusalem. That was 1967. And so that's uh, 60 years ago now, almost. Let's see, 17 was 50, um, 55, 50, 58 years ago. Um, it's possible that the fig tree budded then. Uh, so, all right. So there's the seven clocks. Israel is under attack all the time, but it sure looks like they're taking out most of their enemies, and we're going to find that they're going to be considered an unwalled village. They're going to be at peace when things start happening, um, and so we can see that coming very shortly. All right, so those are seven clocks ticking towards the end time, and we better pay attention. We're closer than you realize we are. We are very close to the end of this thing. All right, as you can see, I'm out of town. We are in Illinois. I will not be home till probably Wednesday night, and I will try to. I'll try to do another live stream tomorrow night, but I can't promise it. And then we got Monday and Tuesday. So anyway, I will be. I've been trying to do a live stream pretty much every day, and we'll do our best and see how it goes. And I don't like doing a dark one like this, but there wasn't much choice tonight. I wanted to get on, finish these seven clocks. Okay. If you would like more information on the seven clocks, I draw your attention to my book here, The Seven Clocks a Ticking. And those all seven of those ticking clocks, plus a lot more information, is in this book, and be a great help to you. And hit the like button. If you have not subscribed to this channel, hit the red button to subscribe. And then there's a little bell you can click on where you'll get an alert when we come on. And those of you on Facebook, appreciate you watching. And so let's see if I got any comments I need to see here. Yes, let's see. Ramona says hello. Gary, you never looked better. Al Triano, I'm not sure I recognize that name. Are you new to the channel, brother Al? welcome either way. And over here on Facebook, just a couple of hellos over there. And all right, I'm going to get off of here and keep your eye on things and keep your eyes on them skies.